General Manager, Dimitris Mazarakis, and our Managing Director of Personal Banking, Fredrik Demelker, each of whom will give a short speech covering various topics related to the insurance industry. Post that, we will get into a moderated panel discussion, followed by a Q&A. Your questions are welcome via the chat option throughout the session. And after the panel discussion, we will then open the floor for your questions if you'd like to ask questions directly to our panelists. We politely request you to keep your microphones on mute throughout until we get to the Q&A bit. And now I would like to request Mr. Peter England to start off this afternoon with a few words. Peter?
Thank you, Geraldine. Well, firstly, good afternoon to everyone and welcome to our virtual conference. I'm very pleased to be joined by Dimitris, who is the General Manager of MetLife Gulf, and of course Fred, who's our colleague here at RAKBANK. Basically, just a little bit of background. I mean, MetLife and RAKBANK have worked together for many, many years. And we've seen some quite significant changes in the life insurance industry, particularly in recent times, with a range of new regulations from the Insurance Authority that really are designed to encourage more people to actively insure, both for general insurance and for life insurance. If you look at life insurance penetration in the UAE, it's a very underpenetrated market. I'm sure Dimitris and Fred will talk about this later, but the penetration rates are genuinely less than 1%. And I think there's a common sort of thought process that, you know, given this market is a relatively large expatriate market with about 90% of people in the UAE being expatriates, there's this sort of thought process that life insurance may not be so important. And, you know, I think RAKBANK and MetLife can play a very big part in helping everyone in this country, not just expatriates, but also UAE residents or UAE nationals, to understand that life insurance is a crucial part of anyone's financial planning. Also, the protection of your family. It does happen that here to protect they're not left with unnecessary debts, and also with something to help them for the future. So it's a very, very important area. It's interesting globally, there's been perhaps not surprisingly, a fairly large uptick in people thinking about life insurance, particularly with this current pandemic that we all face. And the team showed me some statistics a while ago that, you know, in sort of March to May last year through to June, people going on Google and searching for life insurance jumped by more than 50% globally. So, you know, it's a very hot topic, and it's something that, regrettably, with many of these things, people only start to think about it when there is a problem. So RAKBANK and MetLife are very keen to work together to really change the dynamic of this industry. And, MetLife has worked very closely with my team to develop a whole sort of digital array of offerings to really help people competitively purchase life insurance for the benefit of them and especially for their families. So I think today's teleconference or video conference is extremely topical. It's very important. And what I'd like to do now is pass over to Dimitris to talk more about this relationship and partnership from his end. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us in this virtual roundtable to discuss the current developments in life insurance, as well as the new strategic partnership between RAKBANK and MetLife. Firstly, opportunity, and thank RAKBANK, the board, Peter England, Frederick Melker, all Anil Shah, and all RAKBANK for their trust and the great opportunity to promote our new enhanced value to customers. In MetLife, we are thrilled with this opportunity to work with one of the leading banks in the UAE and through our enhanced value proposition to give peace of mind to all RAKBANK's customers. Peace of mind to plan for the golden age of retirement, peace of mind to save for their future or the education of their kids, peace of mind for the twists and turns of their life. In MetLife, with more than 150 years all over the world and 65 years in this region, we are in the unique position to combine the global expertise and know-how with the understanding of local culture and offer UAE population contemporary, world-class, and at the same time customized insurance solutions that fit their evolving needs. COVID-19 is going to accelerate changes in the business environment, especially as far as digital transformation and the model of working. But it will also change the customer behavior, customer priorities, as well as their appetite toward insurance. The new life insurance regulation that has introduced by Insurance Authority on October 16th will further accelerate this transformation in life insurance and customer appetite by promoting a transparency and more customer-friendly insurance solution. Any crisis, any big change is a great opportunity for leaders to take advantage and lead the market into the future. In MetLife, we are proud that we took the lead and launched our new value proposition compliant with the new life insurance regulation at September 1st, before the date of regulation, when others were trying to win a further extension. In this environment, RAKBANK and MetLife unite their forces to promote the idea of insurance, to promote insurance awareness, and to give peace of mind to thousands of their customers to face the future and the new norm with optimism. Having said that, I'd like to hand over to my friend Frederick. Fred, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dimitris. Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks again for joining us for this milestone. And I don't think not only for RAKBANK together with MetLife, but for the entire business. So as you know, today nearly 10 million people call the UAE home, right? And 88% of those are coming from other countries for better life opportunities. That means better life now, but that also means better life for the future. And individuals are not only looking for their own well-being, but also recognize the dependencies of their family members in the UAE and abroad. Yet, despite being home to a relatively wealthy population, it's a fact that life insurance penetration here remains very, very low, and that was already mentioned by Peter in his introduction. In 2018, it was estimated that just 0.67%, so that means a little bit more than 0.5% of the UAE residents had personal life plans. And that figure actually marks a slight drop from previous years. By contrast, coverage stands at 30% in countries like Luxembourg, 16% in expat hubs like Hong Kong, and 10% in the UK. And if you look at the breakdown of the UAE expats by nationality, apart from India, which is having a 2.7% penetration, the majority comes from nations which have even lower penetration rates than the UAE. And then you talk about countries like Pakistan, the Philippines, Bangladesh, and China. It also differs markedly from the non-insurance market here in the UAE, which grew 8.3% over the year 2018 to 2019, with a total business volume of $23.7 billion, which, of course, when we put that in context, is mainly driven by the motor insurance, of course. So the big question is, why is life cover penetration that low? Now, in the first place, in my view, people do recognize the need to protect themselves and their families, of course. However, there is a large disconnect between knowing what is necessary and knowing actually where to go to put that cover in place. It is therefore important that partnerships like RAKBANK together with MetLife provide a strong and suitable framework of expertise and advice to guide the customer taking a sufficient level of cover should he or she fall seriously ill or die prematurely. And for those residents familiar with the concept, another reason may be that until the recent regulatory changes, all sorts of financial products were treated with certain suspicion. We have all heard one tale too many from colleagues, friends, and family being missold pension plans or similar schemes by aggressive salesmen. That's why trustworthy, solid financial providers such as RAKBANK and MetLife welcome the new regulations, which guarantee transparency and openness in terms of low charges and transparent pricing. And again, for us, MetLife and RAKBANK, that regulation was important, but we were already ready with our products and our new approach even before the regulations started last month. The digital revolution supported by the COVID pandemic is also changing the attitudes and preferences of how consumers want to purchase goods and services. This includes financial services as well. We are pleased to inform the launch of Empower, a full-fledged digital platform providing the entire financial planning process, from customer need analysis, suitable product recommendations, to Emirates ID authentication, resulting in automatic underwriting. We are able to deliver the policy instantly. So, together with MetLife, we believe we can transform the life sector. MetLife brings global expertise on designing and building the most suitable customer value propositions, while RAKBANK provides scale and reach through our network, our trusted name in the banking world, and dedicated decades of local expertise on understanding our customers' fundamental financial needs. Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you all very much for your insights. And now we shall move into the panel element of today's session. But before we do, I'd like to remind all of you that your questions are welcome throughout the session via the chat function. And we will invite you at the end of after the panel discussion to ask your questions live too. So first, I'd like to start by looking at the insurance landscape as a whole within the UAE, as we've seen some changes recently. Dimitris, in your expert opinion, how has life insurance changed recently in the current environment, especially with the new regulations?
Thanks, Geraldine. If I had to answer with only one word, this word would be progress. I've been in this region the last 30 months, and I have witnessed a significant progress in UAE insurance regulatory framework, as well as an increasing activity, I could say, from insurance authority, which will further enhance and promote the insurance market, customer protection, insurance awareness, and level playing field. Especially the new life insurance regulation, Board of Directors 49, will increase the value to the customer as well as the transparency in insurance policies. More specifically, the new regulation will protect the customer, make the insurer and intermediaries more responsible, operating in a more transparent and customer-focused manner, build step by step the insurance awareness, and ultimately support the growth of life insurance market. In the short term, this regulation might create challenges in some market players. But based on the international experience, this is going to be for a short term only. The market will adjust quickly, and the future will be bright and more protected.
That's interesting, which brings me to my next question, Dimitris. As the penetration rate in the UAE is still very low, and I believe it's only 0.7% as compared to almost 10% in the UK. Why, in your opinion, the take-up rate is so low in the UAE?
Thanks. Very interesting question. As you know, insurance covers one of the basic human needs, the need of safety, the need to be protected when things go south, the need someone to be next to you and support you to navigate life's twists and turns. Even though people recognize the need, they are not doing the step to cover themselves and their family. Assuming that culture, education, standard of living and disposable income, family role, demographics, social security system, insurance regulatory framework, effective insurance market, familiarity with insurance product, as well as economic growth are the main drivers for insurance market penetration. So we could say that the root cause of low penetration in UAE is a combination of all these factors. But if I had to pick just one, this would be the low insurance awareness.
Interesting. And to build on what Dimitris is saying on awareness about life insurance, Fred, obviously 2020 has been an uncertain year for all due to the unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic. What impact is the pandemic having on consumer sentiment in the UAE?
Yes, well, I see two trends. Well, first of all, of course, we see that risk is materializing around us. People are losing family members, people are losing friends, relatives. We see numbers in the US, like 250,000 people passed away. That is more than during a war situation. So materializing risk means that people start thinking about how can we solve that issue for ourselves, and how can we be sure that if something happens to us, that people that we leave behind are covered. So that is why, and Peter was already talking about it, that we see, for instance, a huge search on Google, people looking for this kind of products. Another very trend we see is that younger generations awareness is growing faster than older generations. For instance, the MIB, which is an insurance analytics firm, they found out that the 13% increase people taking the life insurance plan below 45 only versus a 9% growth people who are already above 45. So these are very interesting trends that we see related to the COVID situation.
Absolutely. As we already established, life insurance penetration remains low within the UAE. What, Dimitris, in your opinion, would help improve take-up rates?
Yes, I'm gonna use the quote from Winston Churchill. So Winston said, "If I had my way, I would write the word insure upon the door of every cottage and upon the blotting book of every public man, because I'm convinced for sacrifices so small, families and estates can be protected against catastrophes which would otherwise smash them up forever." Assuming the positive outlook of the UAE economy and the enhanced regulatory framework and efficient insurance market that the Insurance Authority creates, if we want to improve the take-up rates and the insurance penetration, we have, as market players, firstly, to invest in insurance awareness and educate the UAE population. Then, to build the trust, rebuild the trust by changing some misperceptions, simplifying wording and processes, and enhancing transparency and customer value. And finally, to increase the accessibility of our products.
Okay. Fred, the next question is for you. What makes the product from this live from MetLife and partnership so different?
Well, I think there are 5 main elements there. First of all, the low charges and very transparent pricing. Secondly, value. How can we bring value, more value to the customer? More protection benefits, so bring protection back to the center of the proposition. Truly worldwide cover, because our population is mainly expat, and claim settlement. So now go a little bit deeper. So low charges, transparent pricing, I think that doesn't need too much of an explanation. MetLife and RAKBANK, we work very, very, very hard to make these new products very fairly priced and very, very transparent for the customer, right? Then a customer is happy to pay for an insurance or is happy to pay a premium, but value needs to be there. And that is one other element that we really focused on. So the solutions that we bring to the market are loaded with tons of built-in life benefits, including, for instance, and I have here a full list, but I think some of the most important, a free second medical opinion benefit on major illnesses, with a discount of 30% at selected medical, dental, and optical providers using a MetLife medical discount card, for instance. But like I said, at the heart is certainly the protection benefit, and there we can state that we come with the highest non-medical underwriting limit of $1.25 million US, which is almost 4.6 million dirhams. Life insurance coverage along with enhanced critical illness coverage. Truly worldwide cover, it was very important for us to solve the issue for our customer that, okay, today we take a certain insurance, but what if we leave the country? What if we relocate to another country or back home? Well, here we can say that as long as the customers continue to pay their premiums, they will continue to be covered by MetLife no matter where they are or move to globally. So this is a very important aspect of this proposition. And then, of course, the claim settlement. It is easy to pay a premium, and it's easy to sign a contract. But the most important is once that risk happens, when something happens to you, that claim settlement process is smooth, and that there is a support from the insurance company and the bank to help out on settling fast. And there, I think MetLife can be seen as one of the best companies in the UAE. I can give you some numbers. They paid over the past 3 years 885 million US dollars in settlement, which is almost 3 million dirhams per day. So that was also a very important aspect for us as a bank to go into this partnership with MetLife.
Great. Thank you, Fred. Peter, a question for you. I'd like to ask you, how do local penetration rates of life insurance compared to those abroad, and what has the UAE done to increase these rates?
Yeah, look, I think we've sort of covered the penetration rates earlier. As we said, less than 1% in the UAE. Markets like the UK, which are closer to 10%. And, you know, the reality is it's an extremely underserved market in terms of life insurance. I think to sort of look at what the UAE has done, I think the first thing you have to do is look at why these rates are so low. And we've talked about a lot of those whys in this press conference. You know, the other big one, as I mentioned earlier, is, you know, specifically that we have a very high expatriate population. And I think, you know, so many people are under the impression that by being here, they don't need life insurance. And I think sometimes it's very hard for people to, well, not hard, it's easy for people to forget that the whole reason they're probably here is that they're here to support their families back home. So, you know, from the protection element, that's extremely important. I think the other aspect, as Fred talked about also, is the savings element for those products that include a heavy savings component. There's this sort of thought process that, well, you know, if I take something up here, then, you know, I'll have a challenge when I go back home in terms of that continuing on. And clearly with a partner like MetLife, I think that solves that. The UAE itself, you know, I think the regulation has been relatively slow to come, to be fair. But certainly in recent times, there's been a significant change around you know, things like commission rates, around transparency, a whole range of things that providers like RAKBANK and like MetLife need to adhere to. And I think, you know, the IA has really got very serious in the last year or so about really making the industry more competitive, more attractive clients, to give people more of a reason, or perhaps a better way to put it, less of a reason not to insure. The way I'd put it.
Thank you very much, Peter. Now we're going to open the floor for questions. So if any members of the press would like to address any questions to our panelists, you are more than welcome to do so now.
Hello.
Hello?
It's George from Al Ru'ya newspaper.
Yes, welcome, George.
Yeah. First question, how do you see the new regulation impact on the brokers' business? Do you think the new regulation will push some brokers out of the life insurance market? The other one, how many percent of, I think the 0.7 penetration percent is coming from all kind of life insurance. So how many percent of life insurance coming from bank products, linked to bank products?
Okay, so George, if I understood your question correctly, the first bit will be answered by Dimitris, and the second bit can be answered by Fred.
Yes, thank you.
So thanks, Geraldine. As I said, any change, any new regulation in the short term might create a disruption, and especially in IFA markets and in brokerage market. But I think that this is going to be for the short time. Most of them are aware of this development many years ago. If I'm not wrong, the first time that the Insurance Authority shared this regulation was back in 2017. So most of the IFAs have started to develop the appropriate infrastructure in order to face the impact of significant reduction of their income, and try to build a more efficient organizations, and at the same time being able to build a sustainable and repeatable stream of income. So, in a nutshell, yes, I'm expecting a disruption in the short term, but as I said before, in general, the future for all the distributions and the future for insurance will be bright in UAE, and at the same time, we're going to have more protected, well-protected customers.
I'm sorry, how many percent of the life insurance coming from brokers? How many percent coming from banks and direct?
To be honest, I don't have right now the exact numbers, but I could say that the significant volumes comes from banks, and equally important share, but second share comes from IFAs, from brokers.
Okay, I'm receiving a few questions on the chat. There is a question from Rahma, Khalij Times. Speaking as a consumer, one of the biggest concerns when applying for life insurance is regarding hidden charges. How has the new regulations targeted this?
Okay, I will take this question also. First of all, with the capping the commissions on the one hand, and the significant controls during the lifetime of the policy, and at the same time through the transparency that we mentioned before, so the customer is aware from the first time about the charges. At the same time, I think it is critical for all insurer providers to become more efficient and more effective when we're dealing with their expenses, and at the end of the day, be able to deliver value for the customer, because commission might be one of the cost driver, but also the overall operating expenses is also a significant part. So the new regulation put the cap, ensure transparency and well-informed customers, but on the other hand, the insurer have to become more efficient.
And thank you, Dimitris. I have another question also on the chat from Al Arabiya TV, from Samar. Al Arabiya TV. What is the size of the life insurance market in the region and potential of growth and opportunities? And another question, what is the GCC's biggest market in terms of demand? Dimitris, if you can also answer this question, please.
Yes, I could share just the numbers of UAE market. You know, one of the challenges that we're facing in the GCC is data. There are not reliable data in the markets, and sometimes we are struggling to have this data. As far as UAE, The life insurance market is in the region of 2.5 to 3 billion gross written premium. As far as the overall life insurance penetration is quite low, not only in UAE, but in all Gulf countries. But as we discussed before, the recent developments in the regulation, along with the positive outlook for the overall economic, positive economic outlook in the UAE, I think that will create, will drive insurance to higher heights.
Okay, another question also from Samar. How has COVID-19 affected insurance companies, particularly the main players in the region?
I could say that the life insurance companies and medical insurance companies enjoyed a benefit because of the claim suppression, the deferment of not critical cases, and the reduction in the transportation and the accident in general. On the other hand, general insurance, I think that they faced a bigger challenge. But in total, this is a big change that will shift the mindset and the behavior of the customers. So I think that most of the insurers are trying to translate what the future holds and how this is going to be translated to customer behaviors in order to be ready for the new norm.
Sure. I have another question from Dipti, the National. Do you expect to see more consolidation among life insurance players in the UAE following the new regulations?
Okay, in my view, this is not because of the new regulation. The new regulation, again, create more customer value and at the same time establish transparency. This by itself will boost the market and create more gross, more revenue. On the other hand, in my view and based on my experience, the last 25 years in the insurance industry, I could say that the number of insurers in this region, especially in medical insurance, are quite high. And this might mean a further consolidation in order to achieve the required scale and the required efficiencies. As I said before, efficiency is a critical factor in order to be, at the end of the day, be able to deliver value to the customer.
Great.
Geraldine, if I may just add to what Dimitri said, I mean, I think consolidation is a trend that we are seeing both in all financial services area in the UAE, and banks and insurance companies. As Dimitri said, we just have, particularly in insurance, we just have way too many insurance companies. And ultimately, as times change and the requirement for more digital transformation and so forth, scale becomes crucially important. So I completely support what Dimitris has to say. I think there will be more consolidation, not just from life players, but from general players in the UAE as well, and of course from banks, which we've witnessed significantly over the last few years. Geraldine, I have to just sign off. As you know, I've got something else to go to, so I'm going to leave you all to it. Please don't stop the questions and so forth coming, but I need to sign off. But thank you, Dimitris, and thank you, Fred and Geraldine. And please, I'll hand you back for more questions. And
thanks, Peter. Take care.
Thanks, Peter, for your time and your invaluable insights. Thank you very much. Okay, so we have received some messages regarding a few questions from many media outlets. So I think we're going to address those now. First question is for Dimitris. May you please highlight what are the key benefits of having a life insurance plan?
Yes, as I said in my intro, the key benefit in my view is the peace of mind. Peace of mind to plan for the golden age of retirement, peace of mind to save for your future or the education of your kids, and peace of mind for the twists and turns of our life. This is the key benefit of insurance.
Another question for you today, Dimitris. A lot of questions are coming your way. Why do some people hesitate to have life insurance plans, and how can this be addressed?
Yes, I think we have discussed a lot about the low insurance penetration and why people hesitate to proceed and buy a plan. The low insurance awareness, the trust in insurance market, and the perception that most of the people will be for a limited time in this place, as Peter mentioned before, are the main barriers in my view. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, the new life insurance regulation, as we discussed, and the increasing activity of insurance authority to create an efficient insurance market for the benefit of UAE residents on the one hand, and the efforts of the insurance companies to educate the population, to address the misconceptions of the past and create more value for the customer on the other, are going to address this challenge. In MetLife specifically, customer focus is a part of our DNA, and our new customer value proposition has been carefully designed to increase the ultimate value for the customers. And as I said before, I'm personally proud that MetLife took the lead and was the first life insurer who adopted the new life insurance regulation. And we're ready. We will continue to do whatever is needed to lead the life insurance in UAE and Gulf region, having the customer at the center to whatever we're doing.
Thank you, Dimitris.
Maybe I would like to add something certainly to the trust element, because I think it's a very important topic. We all know that penetration is low, education around these products is not really effective and so far not really strong, but everybody is getting phone calls over the past couple of years about, yes, I can help you with the pension plan, or you go back to the UK, you go back to India, we have this product for you. And well, without even any analysis of the customer needs. And that, of course, gives a very, very important product and service a very, very bad name. Now, a couple of years ago, with RAKBANK and under the wings of Amol, our head of bank assurance, we try to change that, and that all starts with the process as a bank that you put in place to onboard customers. So for us, for instance, transparent and solid information towards the customer was one of the pillars. Then, of course, if you have information, strong communication towards your customers, not only through your relationship management team, but also through other channels, and a feedback loop from the moment a customer was onboarded several checks and even recorded callback calls to really be sure that the customer understands what kind of a product he signed up for, and how this product will behave in the future based on cover, but also, for instance, based on premium payment, right? So today, that resulted in a very low number of clawbacks at RAKBANK, and where we still see that customers misunderstood or there was an issue, we put in place a very strong framework of sitting together with the customer and with the insurance company, MetLife, to solve the issue for that customer. Because the last thing we want as RAKBANK is that a customer feels that he took a product, while it is simply not a product. It is a service, and it is that ease of mind. That is exactly what we want to bring to the customer.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you for explaining this further. We have another question I can see on the chat from Samar Al-Arabiya again. She's asking, what about liquidity? Does global insurance companies have enough money to pay claims?
Yes, they have. They have. I think that for the insurance companies, there is a very strict regulatory frameworks. For example, in European countries, the area that I come from, there is the Solvency II, and actually the capital that we need to have in place, it is enough to face cases that might happen one every 200 years. So I think that all the insurance companies are very well capitalized in order to be next to the customer the time that the customer needs them the most.
Thank you very much.
But again, to add to this, I think it is very important for anybody, any customer who takes a life insurance to go to a very trusted partner. That's why we work together with MetLife. And we as RAKBANK, we also support and underline that trust. We were talking about these very aggressive salespeople calling you. They will not stop calling you, right? It is very important to always choose the right brands and the right partners, not to be in trouble at the time that you need them the most.
That is absolutely correct. Thank you, Fred, for highlighting that. Any other questions from the members of the press? Okay, so I think that this wraps up our session for today. I would like to extend my gratitude for our speakers for taking the time to explain life insurance to us and raise awareness about it. And on behalf of RAKBANK and MetLife, I would like to thank the members of the press who joined us today. And if anyone has any question that hasn't been addressed, please feel free to reach out to the corporate communications team via email or phone, and we'll make sure to address these questions, and we'll share our details with you shortly after this session. Thank you all very much for joining, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take care.